So we are in Jackson, Mississippi on Mississippi Street itself and standing in front of the Mississippi State Capitol building. Quite an impressive building, surrounded by all the other government buildings in Jackson, including the Department of Transportation. Got Regions Bank, got the Marriott. Well, so I'm in Jackson right now for work, and which is how I get to see so many cities in the United States. And whenever I come to a city, I try to stay downtown. I like to walk around. I like to see what the town is all about, and I love going to free museums and things like that. And so I just finished touring the Mississippi State Capitol, which even got a little pin from there, and it's a pretty impressive building. And as I was touring it, I just can't help but be reminded of my home state of West Virginia, which the capital is Charleston, and we also have a really beautiful Capitol building. And yeah, it's neat to see the similarities. So, but yeah, here for work, and hopefully we get to come back again soon. But right now we're probably only going to be here for 2 days. Yeah, so something I like about Jackson, and maybe just broader Mississippi in general, but I mean, I've been here in the state for about 8 hours now, and in Jackson specifically for about 4 hours. But you know, just like little acts of kindness that kind of almost, well, both of them kind of brought a tear to my eye. Was the first one, this old guy, he's in this old beat up pickup truck, and I was driving a U-Haul actually, so I'm driving a U-Haul here, and he's broke down at a stoplight. It turns green, you know, and somebody, there's like a Walgreens, and so like two people walked over from the Walgreens, and he's getting out of the truck, he's trying to figure out what's wrong, he's popping the hood, and then the two people like walked over from Walgreens, they stop, this pickup truck pulls up next to him. He said, like, you guys need any help? And he's like, you got a tow strap? And he's like, yeah, I got a tow strap. So they pulled right in front of him and then pulled him into the gas station, you know, like just all that happened. And then, yeah, and then I'm going down the road, and there's like this bad car accident, and that I got there before like the police, and I pulled over, I'm standing there, and I was like, ooh, like, can I help? I mean, and you wouldn't believe, like, there's pretty much everybody on the other lane, they were all stopping, and they got out, and just, yeah, kind of making sure everybody was okay. And you know, I love seeing that stuff. So yeah, I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, which is capital of West Virginia. And being from West Virginia, usually people want to tell you about, oh, I've got a cousin that lives in Roanoke, or, you know, oh, I bet you go to the beach all the time. Well, we're about 8 hours from the beach, because it's a whole different state than the state of Virginia. But yeah, so growing up there, though, it's a poor state. Like, Mississippi's a poor state, West Virginia's a poor state, but people seem to get along together pretty well. And although my whole life, you know, I lived up my first 27 years there, and you know, I'd tell somebody, they'd ask, you know, standing in line at the grocery store, gets talking to somebody, and they'd say, where are you from? I'd go, here, you know, from Charleston, and they wouldn't believe me. You know, they'd be like, you ain't from Charleston, you know. But so yeah, the state, it's most of its economy comes from mineral extractions. Like, the whole state's covered in timber, and most of it gets cut routinely. I mean, kind of like Mississippi. Mississippi's got a lot of timber. It's got a lot of coal mining, and the coal miners, they're kind of in a hard time right now, actually. I mean, just coal used to have been going down a lot, mainly because we're using so much natural gas for electricity production now. And the state's got a lot of natural gas, but I don't think it takes as many people to extract natural gas as it does coal mining. So yeah, I mean, the state's kind of in a tough time, and people are always looking for an answer. And but it was a great place to grow up, and I kind of get a similar feeling about Jackson. I think Jackson and Charleston, just from what I could see, seem to be really similar. So, neat thing about West Virginia is it's an easy place to spend a lot of time outdoors, and I think that's how I stayed there for 27 years. You know, when I graduated high school, both my parents moved out of state, you know, because they weren't originally from West Virginia. They were basically staying there for me, and but I stayed in the state because, well, I went to college there, but then even after that, I was working in the commercial whitewater rafting industry, and that's a huge draw. So tourism, people love to go whitewater rafting in the state, and that's a neat thing to do, and you can do that both in the southern part of the state and the northern part of the state, and so people love to go rafting. Local residents, people that actually live in West Virginia, they really like hunting. You know, like I grew up kind of hunting. I was not a very good hunter. I mean, my buddies, they were hunters and they were great, but hunting, fishing, I mean, just like there's, you know, it's an interesting fact about West Virginia. They have more vehicle to deer collision than any other state in the country, and there's tons of deer. So when you go hunting there, you don't have to, if you're kind of a bored hunter, you don't have to wait around very long before you're actually going to get to shoot a deer. So yeah, people love hunting, fishing, and people also love like dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and I wish my mom would have let me drive a four-wheeler before I was like 18 years old, because, you know, it's kind of a skill you got to start early in life. If you try to start it when you're 18, you know, you're too scared, and I'm scared when I ride them. So, but my buddies are like, just, they can ride a dirt bike like it's an extension of their body. So yeah, so there's a lot of outdoor activities like that. So yeah, and West Virginia was a great place to live, and one of the biggest reasons that I left was just there weren't a lot of great employment opportunities for me, and a lot of people have been leaving West Virginia for a long time. It's kind of an interesting state because for about, you know, we're coming up on the 2020 census. It's about to be the 7th census in a row where we've had fewer people than the census before that. It's like 70 years of population decline. One great thing about that is driving in the state of West Virginia is wonderful. I mean, there's been people, they finished the interstate highway system in like 1975, and people have been driving. I mean, yeah, and so you know, there's very little traffic. And somebody asked me one time, you know, I've visited 47 out of 50 states, and somebody asked me one time, "What's your favorite state to drive in?" And I had to think, and I was thinking, and I thought, oh wait, I'm trying to think of my second favorite state to drive in. My favorite state to drive in is definitely the state of West Virginia, because I mean, John Denver wrote a song about it called Country Roads. But so if I saw anything to come to West Virginia, it would be better job opportunities, and I think one way the state could get there would be you know, like maybe less occupational licensing. I don't know, maybe cut that out, that's a stupid thing, but I do love the state and have a lot of friends there still, like no actual family, but so many friends that feel like family. Yeah, I want nothing but the best for the state, and for Mississippi. I mean, like, yeah, we feel like I used to work at a ski resort there at Snowshoe Mountain, and it's the biggest ski resort in the state, one of the biggest ski resorts in the southeast United States. And I worked in the adaptive ski center, and it was skiing for like disabled kids and disabled adults, but it was mainly kids. And anyways, just for the whole time I worked there, and for like years before, there was a family that came up, and they would spend like a whole month in January, and they were from Mississippi, and that was like one of my first people I ever met from Mississippi. And they'd come up, and yeah, and they spent a whole month volunteering at the Adaptive Ski Center, and they were just like, yeah, great people. And yeah, I should look them up actually, but yeah, so more opportunities like that, you know. So all right, well, I just want to say hi, Mom, and hey to all the guys at QSI and Mercury Helicopters. So this is John in Jackson, Mississippi, and I am going to be riding in a helicopter tomorrow, maybe. So maybe I'll see you again. If not, enjoy Jackson.